So, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome back to another preview. This is the opposition preview. Newcastle United taking on Arsenal Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. And as you see, guys, we've got two tunes who have joined me for the preview today. Yeah, starting off, man, 100% Mags. Carl, thank you for coming on the channel once again. I was just on yours a minute ago. Very, very good, my friend. And yeah, let everyone know about your channel, where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for coming. Thanks for allowing us to come on to the channel. It's a pleasure as always to come on here and talk about Arsenal and Newcastle, of course, for this fixture. It's always a really good game. Everybody can follow us at 100% Mags, as you can see there, at 100 PCT Mags on social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, of course, and also Twitter. So plenty of accounts to go check out there. Loads of different content on all of them as well. Shorter videos on the TikTok account, of course. But yeah, that's where you can go and follow us, and you know that'd be absolutely amazing to see some support over on them platforms.
100%, man, and big up for you coming on to my channel once again. Obviously, we was on early on the season for our game. We're going to talk about that game as well. But yeah, PD, welcome to my channel, man. First time you've came on my channel. Hope you're well, man. And check out your channel where they can find you as well, my friend.
Yeah, a pleasure having for letting me come on. You can find me on my channel as PD Proudlock, so feel free to check me out on my channel. I've also got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, so follow me on there as well. They are also PD Proudlock as well. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back.
Yeah, so obviously both channels are in the title, guys, so you can click the link and subscribe to both of them. But yeah, guys, let's get right to the preview then. Newcastle, Arsenal, St. James's Park. We're going to start talking about, obviously, we did meet earlier on in the season. I'm going to go starting to talk about that game first of all. 0-0 at the Emirates Stadium. We'll start off with you, 100%, Max. Obviously, 0-0 at the Emirates. You know, what's your thoughts on that game? Because it's sort of like you had one game plan from Eddie Howe, and that was to sit back and hit us on the counter-attack. So what's your thoughts on that result early on the season?
Yeah, like you say, we had one plan just to pretty much hit us on the counter-attack. Going into that game, you know, I knew it was going to be a tough game down at the Emirates, especially when you looked at the other teams that went down there. You know, Liverpool, Man U and that, and they weren't doing that well there neither. So, you know, I was really sceptical going into that one. But by the end of the whistle, when it was all over and done with, you know, coming away from the Emirates with a point was absolutely brilliant. You know, we could have possibly come away with 3, but to take a point from the Emirates this season is a massive, massive deal, especially when you look, like I say, at the other teams that have played there. So looking at the game, it was a pretty good game. And if tomorrow's game is similar to that, you know, obviously with hopefully Newcastle coming away winners instead, that would be brilliant, because it was just a really entertaining game and very interesting to watch.
100%. And the same question to you, PD. What was your thoughts on that 0-0 game at the Emirates this season?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good point for us. I thought we did what we had to do to get a result, considering the last quite few games since 2010 when we last won there. We've not picked up any points since then until we got that point when we met you at the beginning of the year, which was absolutely, we did what we had to do. I think we struggled, Theo, you struggled to open up our defense. We dealt with you very well, and yeah, I would have taken a point anytime. I would have snapped anyone's hand off for a point down there if they asked us before the game started.
100%. Yeah, so let's talk about obviously your club this season, and I've got to say, fair play to your club, man. You know, I'm very happy for you lot as well, where you are at the moment. I know you got to take over, which really helped you out this season with all the money and the signings. But Eddie Howe as well has done an exceptional job. You know, when you had Steve Bruce, he was in a relegation battle last season. You sacked him, and Eddie Howe revived your team, and you got a 10th place finish, didn't you? I'm pretty sure. So this season he's carried that over with all the new signings, like some of Bruno Guimaraes, big fan of that guy. Isaac as well, very Wilson. You know, even Almiron's been firing. So yeah, start off you, PD. Has Newcastle lived up to your expectations? Did you really expect them to be, you know, third place this season? Or, you know, yeah, what's your expectations?
No, I said seventh at first at the beginning of the season, and I think that would have been great because it's a European spot. But to get where we are now is just absolutely fantastic. It just shows the owners they care about the club, why they bought the club for a reason, the passion they're bringing in, the ambitions there now. We've got a very, very absolutely brilliant young manager in Eddie Howe as well. When he delivered his ideas to the players, they've abided, they've listened to what he's got to say, what he's going to do. And it's really having a really brilliant effect on the team now to get to where we are, which is brilliant. Because under Steve Bruce, we were going nowhere under Steve Bruce at all. I think it would have been third time season not being lucky for Steve Bruce because it was horrendous. It was a nightmare under Steve Bruce. The way he disrespected not just the players, but the club, the fan base as well. And that simply needed to be removed completely as well. And players have been coming out, and fair play to them, to slate our former manager, Steve Bruce, saying we weren't fit, we weren't coached properly. We feel a lot better under Eddie Howe now. We're grinding the results, and this is why we are where we are, because of Eddie Howe. The players are working as a team, and that's what it's all about. And we've spent sensibly in the transfer window. We haven't splashed lots and lots of money. We've looked in areas that needed to address, and we're really gelling as a team very well.
100% agree. Yeah, obviously, same question to you, Carl. I mean, what was your expectations for Newcastle this season, and have they lived up to it?
Yeah, I agree with what PD said there. I agree with what he's saying, that we've been absolutely fantastic this season. I was thinking maybe this season, Newcastle would be finishing fifth. That was what I was thinking. So they're even going above and beyond what my expectations were, to be honest. So that is absolutely brilliant to see, because that's what we want to see. We want to see a team, that is willing to go out there and put in the shift. The Southampton game, just gone, was proving that, it wasn't so great in the first half, but then in the second half, they put in an absolutely winning performance, come out with the win, got 3 points, where we really deserved them in the end because of that second half performance. In other games this season as well, it's been the same as well, where it hasn't looked great in the game, but then we have, pulled out the win, and that's what you need to do, if you want to be where we are in the league this season and you want to be at that next level, to be playing European football, you need to be pulling out them kinds of results. You need to be, putting in them kinds of games when it looks like, you haven't had a great first half or you haven't had a great second half and you've pulled it into the game and got the win, because that is what the likes of Man City do, not just in the Premier League neither, but they also do it in Europe against teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, I said already, Bayern Munich as well. And, loads of different teams like that. That is what, the best teams in the world do. But our season, like I said, we were all the way to a League Cup final. That was a fantastic experience. The last time I witnessed a final for Newcastle was back in the last final that we were at, in '99. I was old enough, obviously, to be able to remember that. I was able to remember the one before that, of course, obviously, being that I'm 33 now. So to be seeing Newcastle doing this now is absolutely amazing. To be seeing them putting in these performances after what we went through as well under the previous regime, like Pete just said there, Steve Bruce being the manager, just looked like it was really going to go downhill for it. And if he had have remained as the manager, and the owner had have still remained as well, then we would have been down. And who knows if we would have come back up? Maybe we would have, because we did the other 2 times. But this time around, it looked a little bit different. So it did look like we might have went further down. But luckily, we've seen PIF come in, Amanda Staveley, and the Rubens come in, and they've done fantastic stuff with we. They just get the team, they know what they're doing, and Eddie Howe, has been a vital part of it, coming in, adapting his philosophy onto the team. When a lot of people were saying Eddie Howe wasn't going to really be a good appointment. We should have went for somebody like Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard's not in a job now, because he didn't do well at Aston Villa. Frank Lampard, he's back in the job at Chelsea, but only as caretaker manager. Other managers as well that, they were saying we should have went for as well, like Unai Emery. Obviously, he's doing okay, or really good, whichever way you want to look at it, at Aston Villa. But are they going to still be doing that next season? Probably not, in my opinion, because it all depends on, how they spend in the window for next season. But Eddie Howe, has that ability. He's got the coaching staff. He's got the backing of the owners, and that is what a manager needs. That's all a manager needs, is the backing of the owners. And we can go places, and we've got the fan base, of course, as we always know. The fan base is always there, ready to cheer on Newcastle, and it'll be the same tomorrow. It's St James's Park.
100% agree. Now, obviously, talk about my team, Arsenal. I'm going to give a question to you guys. Are you afraid of Arsenal this season? And because for me, my expectation is not. If you ask any Arsenal fan, we've been a title challenge this season, we would have took your hand off. So starting off with you, PD. My first question to you, my friend, is: are you afraid of Arsenal? And what have you made of them this season?
No, I think we're not afraid of any team now. I would say, by the looks of it. I think you've had a really good season. The title challenges may have slipped away a little bit, but I think you've done brilliant. I think Champions League is definitely going to happen for you next season. I think it's great to see you back at there, because you've been out of there for a long time. You've dropped in the Europa League. You had one season out of Europe. So I think the Champions League is really, really good. I think you've did well in places like bringing players in like Gabriel Jesus, who may not score a lot of goals, but I think his work rate is exceptional for them. I think Arteta's developed very young, good players as well, like what he's doing with Saka and Martinelli. I think he's a really, really talented player as well. So, and he's got rid of a lot of deadwood as well. I've really seen, because I know there's a lot of times you were slating the previous manager, but there was a lot of deadwood in your side, and Arteta's got rid of a lot of that. And I think that's where you are as well. You've been challenging for the title. Yes, it could have maybe have slipped away, possibly a little bit. But I think you've still got to take this as a very good season a really cracking season for your side.
100%. Obviously, same question to you, Carl. What you made of Arsenal this season? Are you afraid of us?
I agree with Peter, mate. I don't think Newcastle's afraid of any team, to be honest. And to be honest, that's the way most teams should be as well. If you're going to go into a game being afraid of a team, it's not going to really help the players' mindset. It's not going to help, the fans neither, who are paying to go to watch the game. If you're going into it and you're already pretty much calling it as a loss, I feel that's a bad way to go about it. And, with that as well, because that's Eddie Howe's philosophy, to go into the game, and give it a good go. Unlike the previous owner and the previous manager that was in beforehand, where they were pretty much already writing games like in games against the likes of Man City and that off as well. But we've seen this season that isn't the case now. We've got Eddie Howe, who is willing to go into a game like this and give it his all. So I wouldn't say we're afraid of Arsenal. And looking at Arsenal this season as well, you have been doing absolutely fantastic. You can't say anything other than that, to be honest. There's no way of saying that it's been a bad season for Arsenal, because it really hasn't. Arsenal's been doing well and truly above expectations of what everybody else said. I think I said 7th or 6th or something on my Premier League predictions for Arsenal, if I remember rightly, which I thought that would be whereabouts you'd be, especially, that game that you had against us at St James's Park last season just didn't look like a very good game for you. And I know it's only one game, but the way, you played in that game, it just looked like, things weren't working out, things weren't clicking. And Arsenal's proven me wrong this season. And I will hold my hands up, and say that they've proved us wrong this season, and they're doing an absolute fantastic job. Arteta's doing brilliant, for years, and I feel the point now is to focus on what's left of this season. 4 games that you've got left, try and end off in style. Hopefully not tomorrow, of course, but try and end off in style and, pick up as many points as can possibly pick up out of the games that are remaining. And for me, I agree with Peter as well. I think it is Champions League football for Arsenal at the very least. That is what you will be getting this season, and you fully deserve it, for the way you've been performing, as does Man City, as does, ourselves, Newcastle, for the way the 3 teams have been performing this season. Has just been absolutely fantastic, well and truly above everybody else in the Premier League. As I said on my stream earlier on, Man United being the closest to them 3, and they're still quite a way off as well on that. But that's my thoughts on, use this season, mate.
Yeah, 100% agree. Big up to It's All Black and White TV as well. Thanks to some of my friends. I think I stopped yours channel anyway, when you went on Lucas' channel, I think last season or whatever. But yeah, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate you tuning in today. Big up everyone in the chat as well. We'll go through your comments later, guys. But yeah, anyway, we're going to rewind to last season. And I know you mentioned a little bit about that game a minute ago, Carl. But yeah, we had something to play for. We was fighting for top 4. And you were in the party. And I did say it in your stream where we did a minute ago, Can you do the same thing? Is the league over? Do you think Man City have done it, PD? Do you think it's over? Or do you think Arsenal still have a chance?
If we beat us and Man City win, I think it could well be. By the looks of it, I can't see Leeds getting anything up there. I really, really can't.
Yeah.
I think Man City, you just look at them now and thinking, who could catch them now? That's by the looks of it. Haaland's been on fire. De Bruyne has been cracking as well. And I was just, because I watched your game against Man City, and I was just very disappointed why that Arsenal didn't put up a fight in that game. It's like they got overrun from the start to the very end of the game. And that was disappointing, because if you would have got something out of that game, then your title could well have been in your hands.
Yeah, 100%. And coming back to you, PD, obviously the game when you played us last season, you destroyed us 2-0.
Yep.
We was meant to get top 4, and you were in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that game? And do you think you can see something similar happen tomorrow?
Yeah, I thought we were exceptional when we played you at St James's Park when we won 2-0. I thought we bossed that game. I thought it's a possibility. It all depends how the game starts. I think it comes down to the first goal. I think it comes down to the first goal. I mean, I think it's a possibility you could be missing Gabriel tomorrow.
That's confirmed. I think he's out tomorrow.
If we can look that as to an advantage. I think Saliba's, ever since he's got injured as well, he's been a bit of a loss.
Yes,
for years as well. So, and all these things happen. These things can happen. Injuries can take an effect on their teams at times. So, but again, I think it's all down to, it's going to be, both teams are going to be well up for this game. That's what you can say. I think it all comes down to that first goal. Whoever gets that first goal is going to kick on from there.
100%. Same question to you, Carl. Obviously, what do you make of the St James's Park performance? And do you see anything happening similar to that tomorrow?
Like I said on my stream, I think if we can see what was seen in that game last season, then that would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, Newcastle were absolutely dominant in that game. Arsenal just really didn't stand a chance. And we've seen, similar things this season throughout what games, that we've played. We've seen similar things to that game. So I feel it's there. We do have the quality there to be able to do it. The passes that have been coming off of Willock this season has been absolutely amazing. Case in point, the one against Spurs, that just was absolutely fantastic. Anybody else does that, you know, and they're talking about it for absolutely years to come. You know, Kevin De Bruyne does that. They'll be talking about it years to come, but there wasn't much coverage around it, which I thought was pretty disappointing, to be honest. There was more talk about, you know, how Tottenham hadn't performed as well, you know, which for me was absolutely disgusting when you consider, you know, that it was actually us performing really well and putting in an amazing performance. But if we can see any sort of style and energy that we've seen in them games in this game tomorrow, then I feel it's got a Newcastle win written all over it. But then, of course, there's the flip side of that as well, because it could be a tight game like we've seen down at the Emirates this season. And if it is like that one, you know, then it's still going to be an entertaining game, but it's going to be a tough game for the lads. They're going to have to really pull together in it and try and pick up a win in the game. And we need as many wins as possible now, you know, because looking at it now, I think it's 2 or 3 wins, I believe it is, you know, that we need, and we secure Champions League football for next season. That is the aim. You know, that has always been the aim, to get European football for next season. Champions League football is an absolutely brilliant one to get as well, because it allows us to be able to open up a lot more going forward for FFP. It allows us to open up, and it allows us to attract much bigger names as well, which makes the job for people like me and Peter, of course, a lot harder on reporting transfers, unfortunately, because then we've got to wean through all of these players like Neymar being linked to it, Messi being linked to it, Ronaldo being linked to it, which I'm just going to say right now, you know, for everybody watching, it's not happening. None of them guys are coming to it. You know, Eddie Howe has said it in his press conference. None of them guys are coming to it. You know, it's just an absolutely logistical nightmare for FFP, to be honest, to try and bring somebody like that into Newcastle. We're not at that area yet. We're not at that area to bring a player in of that caliber. But even if we were, you know, I wouldn't want to see somebody like Neymar coming to Newcastle, because, you know, he's got a bit of an ego, and he could disrupt the dressing room. Same with Ronaldo, same with Messi. And like Eddie Howe said in the press conference, going into this game, it's all about looking at the players that are going to become the Ronaldos, the Messis, the Neymars, before they've actually blown up onto the scene. That is the whole aim. That is what we've been looking at for the transfer windows. But I feel the game against Arsenal could go either way. If we see the performances that we've seen this season, it could be a win for we. If we see what we've seen down at the Emirates, then it could be a draw. It's going to be a very tight game, really.
Definitely. How do you guys see Eddie Howe setting up for this game? You know, tactically, because obviously Emirates Stadium, as I said a minute ago, like, you guys literally had one game plan, that was to sit back and hit us on the counter attack, be aggressive with Arsenal when it works. Do you think you'll go toe to toe with Arsenal? Do you think it'll be an end-to-end game, an open game, or do you see Newcastle sort of sitting back? What's your thoughts, PD?
I don't think we'll sit back. We're not known to do that now. I think Eddie Howe will want to get his team selection right. In terms of who I think he'll bring in, if Logstaff is fully fit, I think he'll come back in for me. If he's not, I think he could go Isak left and Wilson up the middle. But if Logstaff is back, he goes back in, and it'll be either Wilson or Isak to start in the middle. And I think Joe Linton will go out back on the left-hand side. He will keep the same formation 4-3-3, which is what he's been going with, definitely as well. In terms of the goalkeeper, the back four will stay the same. Of course, the midfield, I said, Logstaff will come back in. Joe Linton on the left. Murphy will keep his place on the right, and I think Isak will go up the middle. And he'll want to go for it as well. We could have Maxi back as well, Saint-Maximin, but I think he will make the bench for me. I don't think he'll start.
Yeah, Carl, same question. Obviously, like, how do you see Eddie Howe set up and your lineup as well? And who do you want to see play against Arsenal?
I think the team that will put out against Southampton, if we see a similar team to that, that would be pretty good. Maybe Gordon this time, though, sitting on the bench. I would love to see Callum Wilson and Isak start from the off, but like I said on my stream, I just don't see that happening at the moment with the squad depth problems that we've got for forwards. Eddie Howe said in his press conference that that is one of the reasons why Isak and Wilson don't both play at the same time, is because we just don't have that squad depth there. We don't have somebody then to bring off of the bench later on in the game to freshen the team up. But a similar lineup to what we had against Southampton, I think that would be the best way to go about it. Obviously, if Sean Longstaff is fit, then Sean Longstaff coming in because he's been absolutely fantastic this season. He's been engine in midfield, and he doesn't get enough credit neither for it. A lot of people don't credit Longstaff for what he does in the team. He's just all over the place, and you don't really see it as much because you're focusing on other players like Bruno or Big Joe, or you're focusing on Isak or Wilson. So you don't really see the work rate that Longstaff puts into the team. The same with the other players as well. Like Murphy, you don't see the work rate that Murphy gets and puts into the team. These lads are putting in fantastic performances week in, week out when they're called upon, and they don't seem to get the credit that they deserve from some of the fan base and from the media as well. But if Longstaff is fit, then I would expect Longstaff to go in there. Maxi, I don't know if Maxi is going to be able to go into the team. There is talk that he could return, but I don't know if I would start him. Like I said, on his day, he's fantastic, but he's got the hamstring problems. He's just coming back off of that as well. So if he is fit, then I think it would be only the bench that we'll see him. Maybe he's coming on as a sub. And Jamal Lascelles obviously isn't fit because he's got the calf injury. So even if he was, though, like I said on my stream, that he wouldn't be featuring in the side because of the defence this season's been pretty consistent. And that's something that I love about Eddie Howe, that he knows who he wants in the team. And when a player goes in and performs, that they get to keep their place. Then if somebody else comes in and, puts in brilliant performances, then it's open for them and maybe he's coming in. And that is a brilliant thing about this season, is the fact that there's a lot of competition in there of the players that are there to, play in the positions. Like we've seen Almiron being dropped out of the first team of late and just coming on as substitute, with Murphy playing from the starting role a lot more. I would like to maybe see Almiron coming in as a starter and Murphy coming off the bench, because I have seen that Murphy coming off the bench seems to do a lot better than Murphy starting in the team. Maybe that's just because of the speed and the way he can adapt into the game coming off the bench as well, because other players are a little bit, more tired around him. But I feel that could be the team that will line up with goalkeeper, obviously Nicky Pope, the back four of Trippier, Botman, Shaw, and Dan Burn. Midfield, I would say Bruno, Sean Longstaff if he's fit. If not, then probably Joe Linton going into that midfield alongside Willock. Then Almiron out on the wing, Isak or Wilson in the striking role, and Wilson in the striking role, and then Isak on the other wing. I think that would be the best way to probably go about it. But it's going to be a tough game. Either way we'll look at it, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, we're both fantastic teams. We're doing absolutely amazing, so it's going to be a tough game. Either way we'll look at it.
100%. And we're going to move on to a bit of the team moves for both sides. Obviously, with Arsenal, we've got no Saliba. He's out for the whole season. Gabriel has been confirmed that he's going to be out now. So our two centre-backs will be Rob Holding and Kiwa. That's about it for Arsenal team moves. But yeah, some of you, PD. First of all, my friend, with the no addition of Gabriel or Saliba, we're going to play Rob Holding and Kiwa. I'm sure that boosts your confidence levels, because for me, I saw
it will. I will, because I mean that partnership between Gabriel and Saliba has been quality, and it's kept you going. But every since one of them's got injured, your defense has been left a bit open, hasn't it? And you've dropped points against Southampton. West Ham's another team as well. So that will look to us to our advantage, because I don't rate Rob Holding, I must admit. I think I would be looking to sell him on.
Yeah.
And get better competition for next season as well. But yeah, I think we will look to that as an advantage point, considering that both of them looks like, or at least one of them are definitely going to be missing tomorrow.
What's your team news? You got any injury updates?
Of course, the only injuries we've got who will not be returning is Emil Kraft and Jamal Lascelles. But it says we could have Longstaff back fit, which would be great. Maxi's a possibility as well. So other than that, we're okay in terms of we've got a lot of our main players fit. So that is the main thing.
Yeah, and obviously I looked at the game against Tottenham. You absolutely destroyed them, didn't you? 6-1, wasn't it? Absolutely unbelievable game. And I was loving it. I was loving it because I love Tottenham getting absolutely battered. That's the thing I'm worried about.
I would have thought so as well.
That's something I'm worried about you guys. You got Isaac, a player who is very good, technically gifted as well. I saw his goal against Everton. No, not his goal. His assist against Everton, I should say.
Oh, yes.
What an assist, man. What a run that was.
Yeah.
Him against Rob Holding and Keyword gives me nightmares thinking about it. So 100% agree with you there. But Carl, are you still there, my friend? I think he's gone. I know he's back.
I think he's back.
Yeah,
he's back. Yes, I was just talking about obviously also having no Gabriel or Saliba. And I'm guessing that boosts your confidence levels very high as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying on my stream. It was good news to hear that Gabriel won't be able to be available in the game, and Saliba won't be available in the game neither. So that's going to be good. It's going to allow a better chance pushing forward in the game as well. It's just, I just don't know. It's going to be an interesting one, definitely, on that game. But them two being out is a big boost, in my opinion. But I agree with what Peter said. The game is going to be a very, very tough game, and it's just going to be an interesting one to see how we'll go about it, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. And we're also talking about, obviously, players I fear from Newcastle. As I said about on your stream as well, Bruno Guimaraes. I love the guy, and I would happily take him at Arsenal even to this day. I think he's a fantastic midfielder. Watch him at Lyon as well. Alexander Isak as well. I was saying PD about his assist at Everton. Oh my days, what a player, man! Technically gifted as well, and he's a player gives me nightmares. And even Almiron, a very good player. I mean, Joe Willock, former Arsenal player. I do miss him, and he's been doing real well for you lot as well. Even Joe Linton is stepping up, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, what players do you guys fear from Arsenal, PD?
Jesus, I think he's got very good work rate. Martinelli, I do really rate the guy. I think he's good. Saka, even though he maybe hasn't been up to scratch in the past, maybe 1 or 2 games, but he's still got pace. He's still got quality in him. Odegaard, I think, has been exceptional as well. Those are one of the really players. Those are particularly the main players I do worry here for Arsenal.
Same for you, Carl. Players you fear from Arsenal?
Saka is a good player. That's somebody that I think we should be watching out for in the game. Odegaard as well, another one that we should be watching out for in the game. Gabriel Jesus, not so much, to be honest. I feel with the size of the defence, that would be a massive benefit for us because he's not exactly the tallest of guys. But of course, then he could, go against with for pace. But that size, you can't look past it, to be honest. You really can't. The size of the defence is something, that a lot of people have been fearing from us this season. In the size around the entire team as well in height is something that a lot of people have been fearing from with this season. But for me, the players that I fear on the Arsenal team would be maybe Saka, but again, we could probably combat with that. Odegaard as well. I feel we could maybe combat with that as well. But them are the two that I think, mate.
What have you made of our manager, Mikel Arteta, this season, PD?
I think he's done very well. I know he's been in a lot of pelters, but I think he's looked at players that he's like, I know who's good enough and who's not good enough. And he's just said to a lot of the players who aren't good enough, you need to be moved on. Because I've seen a lot of those players, like Bellerin was one of them, I believe. Yeah. There's other players as well. So many of them. I think there's still maybe a couple I would consider moving on. The likes of Rob Holden. I'm not sure if Nketiah has the answer as backup as well. I've been very disappointed with that Fabio Vieira as well.
35 million it was.
35 million. So, but I think will get better. I think if you've got Champions League football, you really have to go into that market for next season.
Yeah.
You will need to really go into that market for next season to bring extra talent in there.
100%.
Same with us as well.
100%. Yeah. Carl, what we made of our manager Arteta this season?
To be honest, he's doing really good. There's a lot of people that are saying, that it might not work out next season, and I do agree with that. There will be problems next season because he's maybe set the bar a little bit too high in a way because of how he's played this season. So that could cause them some trouble going ahead, because a lot of people are going to want to see the same again. A lot of Arsenal fans are going to want to see what you have done this season again, and I think he might struggle with that. But again, like Peter said, it's all about who you sign in the window. In the same for us as well. A lot of people are going to be expecting us to do what we're doing this season again next season, which I do think we will be able to. But it will be tough because we will have that European football. But it's all about who you sign for next season. But Arteta's doing a fantastic job at Arsenal. You can't argue about that. I've seen quite a few people, that are complaining, saying that there's games where you should have won them, and you just didn't win them. But when you look at them, some of them games were games against the likes of Manchester City. I mean, it's Man City. Hardly anybody gets to win against Man City. They've just proven themselves, over the years since their takeover to be the team, to beat them are the teams that you need to be beaten in a season if you want to win the Premier League title, and to be going up against Arsenal and Man City from a Newcastle perspective, it's just fantastic to be here, up at this area of the table. And I mean, we've been here before. It's not like we haven't been here before. It was only in, the last 14, 15 years, that we were having trouble. We were still, before the Ashley period, we were still performing absolutely amazing. We were still in European games. We were in the UEFA Cup and that. So, it's only in the Ashley period that we're seeing, Newcastle not getting into Europe for that one time when we got in there under, Pardew. But Arteta's doing a fantastic job. Back him, get behind him, and see what he does next season for you. But there's nothing more you can ask for, really, as a football fan, other than your team to go out there and try.
Yeah, I can say the same for your manager, though. I mean, he's been fantastic, hasn't he? After Steve Bruce, I remember you would see Bruce. You lot were horrendous.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. Yeah.
It was horrible.
Go down. I thought he was generally going to get relegated.
Yeah, I thought if he stayed on, we would have not been in the Premier League. I mean, it's the tactics were just horrendous. 5 defensively, 5 at the back against a lot of teams. The way he the way he was horrible to the press, the fans, the players as well. It was just such a dark place to be in. And that's we needed as soon as we got that takeover. Steve Bruce had his 1,000 game, yeah, but it was in terms of the owners, right? If this doesn't go right, that's it. Time's done, and that is exactly what it was. Time was done, and glad that dark cloud of the Ashley, Steve Bruce, and all the other poor managers, and also the other idiots who have had running this football club as well, of finally being of that ship sailed, which is great.
100%. But yeah, guys, what I usually do with all my guests, we do a combined 11. So we're gonna move on to that now, and then we'll give our score predictions at the end as well as always. But let's get into it, guys. Join us in the chat as well who you go with. So we're gonna get right into it. The two goalkeepers. Now we had this debate on your channel, didn't we, Carl?
Yeah.
Ramsdale, Nick Pope, both of them is world class, and I went Ramsdale because I'm an Arsenal fan. But who should we go with, man? Nick Pope or Ramsdale? What's your guys' thoughts on both of them?
Do you want to go first, Peter?
I would go Nick Pope, not just because I'm a Newcastle fan, but we've had a lot of clean sheets under him this season as well. I mean, we've went so many games where he's not conceded goals. I think all the way from the Southampton game, we kept quite a few clean sheets after that, which was great. So
yeah, I'd agree with Peter on that. I would go with Nicky Pope as well. I mean, Ramsdale's a brilliant keeper. Don't get us wrong. He's a fantastic keeper. Should be Nicky Pope and Ramsdale, in my opinion, for England number 1, number 2. Pickford's absolutely dreadful. How he's still number 1 for England is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. But for me, I'd go Nicky Pope is the goalkeeper in the combined 11.
I agree. I know I said Rams on your channel, but I'll go Pope as well. I think he's world class, you lot, and definitely I agree. Both in the England squad for the future has to be. Now I've got another tough one: Kieran Trippier and Ben White. Ben White's been fantastic for us this season. Funny enough, we signed him as a centre back, 50 million. Arteta's converted him to right back, and he's been one of the best right backs this season. But so has Kieran Trippier, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Guys, what's been your thoughts on both of them this season?
I would say Kieran Trippier for right back. Like you say, absolutely fantastic player. In Ben White's good right back, don't get us wrong, but I mean what Kieran Trippier can bring to the team, not only as a player but as a leader as well. The amount of work that he does off the field. If you just look at last season as an example of that, I mean, he was injured, he was on crutches, and he was still travelling home and away with the players. That is just dedication right there. That just shows you, what kind of guy he is. To be doing that, when he's injured, is just absolutely amazing. So for that reason, that is why, I'd pick Kieran Trippier in the right back position for the combined 11.
PD, your thoughts, Trippier or Ben White?
Yeah, I think it's Trippier because the work rate he puts in, he's a lead out on the pitch. He's not frightened to have a go at everyone if players are doing what they're supposed to be doing as well. He's 32 years of age. He certainly does not play like a 32-year-old. He must just keep working out every single day by the sounds of it with what he does as well. So, and he should be captain of this football club as well. If Lascelles goes, I believe he'll get that armband for next season. Maybe the set pieces have been a little bit off from him, but he still does what he does out on the pitch. He still bombs forward with the ball. And that's what I really love about the guy, the work he just puts in as well. He just never stops.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give you both Nick Pope and Kieran Trippier. I think that's fair enough. Now, the two centre-backs, obviously you got Botman. He's been fantastic. What signing? You've got Fabian Schär as well. He's been fantastic for you, hasn't he, as well? He's been at the club for quite a while as well. It's been since 2017, isn't it? You've had Fabian Schär for. So
yeah, he's been there well now.
Yeah, and obviously we've got Gabriel Saliba. I'll give you a lot of Botman. I think he's been superb. And then for us, Saliba's been injured and Gabriel's been a better centre-back since the World Cup. So my two centre-backs will be Gabriel and Botman. What about you guys?
I think I'd agree with that as well.
Yeah, that would be about right, I think. We've got to be fair, haven't we? Can't make it all Newcastle. no matter how good it would be.
Yeah, so we're gonna go Gabriel Botman. Left back, you got obviously Dan Burn, and I spoke to you on your channel about Dan Burn. He's been decent this season, hasn't he? And although people say he's slow, but I agree with what you said on your channel. You know, he's very physical as well, and obviously with Zinchenko as well. I've seen enough of this guy left back. He can't defend. He's good, very good going forward. He's very good with his feet. I believe we should play in midfield. I believe we should have Kieran Tierney playing there. But Dan Burn or Zinchenko, guys, who would you go with?
Dan Burn for me. Just purely off of them reasons alone, the height, the physicality, and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I'll go.
That's why I like Big Ben, because of his size. I know he can't struggle with pace on oppositions, but he'll certainly do the dirty work as well. So with him, the size that he is. Definitely.
All right, midfield, we've got obviously a big fan of Bruno Guimaraes. For me, he walks straight into the team. You've also got Joe Willock, who's a former Arsenal player. You've got Longstaff, who's done all right for you this season. Joe Linton's played midfield, hasn't he?
He has been a lot, but he has been out on the left as well.
Left this season as well. Is that one of the midfielders you've been playing this season? I think that is it.
Yeah, I think that is right.
Obviously, Arsenal, we've got Thomas Partey, who's fantastic. Granted, Xhaka has had a phenomenal season. Obviously, Vieira, we did sign. He's been not that great. We signed Jorginho as well from Chelsea. And first of all, Arsenal fans were fuming with that. He's came in and he's done really well. He's been very surprised with quite a few of us. My midfield two in CDMs will be Bruno and Partey for me. I don't know if you guys agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'd maybe change Partey though for maybe Odegaard.
I think Odegaard's more attacking than
I was going to put Odegaard in the number 8 to 10 role, number 10 role, I think.
Yeah, you could go with that.
Yeah, so Partey and Bruno, and then Odegaard. You guys, do you really play a number 10?
It's normally three centre midfielders, but I think we've just got Bruno just a little bit back than the other two.
Yes. Would you guys go with the Odegaard, or would you go Odegaard in the team, or would you throw another midfielder in there from you lot?
Maybe strong long stuff.
I think Willock for me, because I think he's becoming a better player now. The way he's skill on the ball, that he's drive with the ball as well. Not to mention one of the passes of the season he made to assist Isak with that chance to make it from went 4-0 up in the game, which was just cracking as well. And I think Willock's becoming a more improved player at this club now.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go with Odegaard, but we're leaving the chat for people to give their thoughts, who they're going to go with, Odegaard or Willock. But the front three now, this will be interesting. This will be tough as well, I think. Oh, man, right-hand side, Saka, or you play Amron, don't you, on the right?
Yeah.
Well, I've been going with Murphy as of late. Yeah. I think Murphy's done very well.
Yes.
The problem with Almiron, he struggles with his right foot.
All right.
That's the problem with Miggy. He doesn't use his right foot for me. He doesn't try to use it. He keeps chopping and changing back, and then he's lost the ball at times. Whereas Murphy's a right footer, so it's easy for him to get crosses in on that side. But I think you got to go with Saka on the right.
Do you agree, Carl?
Yeah, I think Saka. When you look at it, out of the three options there, Murphy, Almiron, Saka, I would say Saka. Almiron was doing amazing in the first part of the season, but he's dropped off a little bit now, mostly because of that injury that he picked up. And of course, now we've seen, Wilson has been able to get past him on the goal scoring charts. Isak's not that far off him on the goal scoring charts as well. For me, I'd say, I'd go with Saka.
Yeah, fair enough. Saka as well goes in there for me. Left-hand side, we've got obviously Martinelli from Arsenal. Trossard's been playing there as well. Fantastic signing for you guys. You obviously, you mentioned about Joe Linton been playing there You got Maxi as well. He plays sometimes on left hand side. Anyone else I've missed? Who plays on?
We've had Gordon there.
Gordon. Yeah. What have you guys made of Anthony Gordon from Everton?
I don't think he's been that bad. I think I will judge him more onto next season. Let's give him a full pre-season to get prepared for the new season, and then we'll make our decision on there. Because I would say, because the lad's still only young, he's only 22 years of age. So he's still got time. He's still got time to develop as well. I don't think he was going anywhere under Lampard at the time. Well, I don't think he was going anywhere under the Everton side with the way it is now. So I think he will become better. There's still time for him.
Definitely. Left-hand side, guys, who you're going to go with? I'm going to go Martinelli, personally.
I'll say Joe Linton.
I'm going to say Joe Linton as well. I think the skill, the hold-up play has been exceptional. The way he certainly bullied people off the ball as well. There's been other players have looked at him and says, I don't want it all. I don't want to come up against him anymore. His skills have been exceptional, particularly the way he rounded Lloris to score our second goal, the way he's getting in the right areas as well, helping bringing people into play is just incredible now. It's just, and again, it's all credit to Eddie Howe because for making that £40 million, considering under the previous manager, he was going nowhere. Striker wasn't his position. All we had to do is just tweak his position a little bit, and he's just been exceptional, and he's doing extra work. Eddie Howe's been doing extra work with him, and that's just fantastic.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, the striker, we've got obviously Jesus returned from his injury. We've got Eddie Nketiah for Arsenal. There are only two strikers. We really do need to strengthen in that position in the summer. You guys, you got, as I said about Isaac, wow, this guy's so good, man. And obviously Callum Wilson as well. You know, Callum Wilson is... Again, he's on. Do you say he's on 15 goals, didn't you?
Yeah,
15 goals this season. Yeah.
Wow, this is a tough one, man. I'll give you a Newcastle player up front. I think I will give you a Newcastle player, either Isaac or Callum Wilson.
I would say Wilson.
I think if I would go with Isak for me. It's just he's got more pace on him. I think Wilson's more of a finisher, whereas Isak, he's got that skill on him. And I still worry with Wilson and his injuries because he can be much made of glass. That's the problem with Wilson still, which is he's probably not getting a lot of starts now than he has been as well. So, but with Isak, you've got the physical, you've got the skill on the ball, the pace and everything as well. And the fact is he's been out for a few months as well. And he's already got 10 goals for now. It's just incredible.
Wow. 100%. But yeah, guys, that is the command 11. That is the command 11. Let us know what your command 11 will be. Before we do go, though, I just want to quickly mention about next season. And obviously, I presume both of us will be in the Champions League next season. I do feel like you'll finish third. You know, obviously, you got the money, guys. You know, you can go splash the cash. Arsenal been given 200 million. Arsenal's been given only 200 million this season for next season. But it'd be interesting to see what we do with that. What are some of the positions and just some of the players that you would love to see at Newcastle next season, guys?
I would say we could do another centre back for competition for Shea and Botman. I think we need to move Jamal Lascelles on, in my opinion, as well. I think you need to have Burnmore centre back, and I would bring in a new left back for me. I think we could do with another CDM. I think they want to get Bruno more further up the field this time rather than the CDM. So I think someone like Milinko Savic from Lazio would be great. I think I would take Ward-Prowse as well. Also that Kone from Mönchengladbach. I think he's exceptional as well. Another winger would be great as well. The one I would love to have is Moussa Diaby. I think he is exceptional for Leverkusen, and he can score goals as well. I've seen some of the skills he has done on the ball for Leverkusen, and I think he's exceptional. So I think someone like him as well. Definitely another striker as well, because I still worry with Wilson's injuries. So we're going to need someone in there to challenge and compete with Isak as well.
Yeah, you guys been linked with Kieran Tierney as well from Arsenal, left back.
I do rate him. He is made of glass, so that's my only concern with Tierney. He does have a lot. He has had a lot of injuries.
Carl, what about you, my friend? Some of the players you would like to see, the positions as well, you need to strengthen in the summer.
I'd agree with Peter, to be honest, on most of the areas he said. We could do with some strengthening in the centre-back area. Obviously, like I said on my stream about Shaw getting up there in age now. Obviously, he's still got a bit of time left, but we do need to obviously get a replacement in there so that he can settle in. Other areas as well, like the CDM role, obviously we need somebody in there, allow Bruno to push higher up the field. I've been screaming for that one for ages since Bruno came in, because the way Bruno just gets forward is brilliant for it. It allows him to open the passing lanes a lot quicker as well if he's further up the pitch. So somebody coming in there would be nice in the CDM role. Like Peter said, Milinkovic-Savic would be a nice one from Italy. There's some other players as well that are in there being talked about as well, like Paqueta at West Ham could possibly be one that comes in. Declan Rice even as well.
Yeah.
Another player that would be a nice one to see come to Newcastle. Don't know how much that one would cost though, because West Ham ain't going to want to get rid of him for cheap. Then you've got teams like the relegation teams going down. You could look at some players from them, like Southampton's Ward-Prowse. You could have a look at him. You could maybe look at Lavia. It's Southampton as well. I think Man City's got the option on him to buy him, obviously being that it was one of their players. But he's another player that has been doing really well in the Premier League and somebody that has been already likened to Bruno as well. So maybe we could give a shout at Lavia in there. And then in the striking department, obviously we need somebody to come in as a striker. We need somebody in there, like I said earlier on, to be able to give with that depth. Some players in mind for that position for me would be Osimhen in Italy. Fantastic player.
Class, isn't he?
Yeah.
Class, but he would I think he would cost well over the 100 million.
Oh yeah, probably. But an absolute fantastic player. Vlahovic would be another one. Though he is a bit of a powerhouse guy, so I don't know how that would work with our style of play, because we like to play a pressing, intense football. So we need somebody in a similar mould to Callum Wilson and Isak. Looking in the Premier League for players like that, you'd probably look at maybe Ivan Toney at Brentford. He seems to be pretty good. Already been here before as well. That attitude, though, I don't know about on that one, because there has been many videos going around of him, with attitude about being at Brentford. So I don't know how that one would work.
You don't know what ban he's going to face.
Yeah, and the
charges that have gone against him.
Exactly. So that's a little bit of a stickler there. A name I've seen being talked about in the striking department for Newcastle quite a bit of late has been Harry Kane. Saying that Harry Kane could possibly come to Newcastle. If he does, then there's a chance that he will break the record in Newcastle at least, which that's all good at the end of the day if he breaks Alan Shearer's record and it's at Newcastle, because then it's another Newcastle player doing it. Though I would rather like to see Alan Shearer keep that record for a while longer, because there is much better players in the Premier League that are deserving of beating that record. Haaland, of course, which we can't say, that we wouldn't love to see somebody like Haaland come and playing at Newcastle, or the same for yourselves, playing at Arsenal. But yeah, them are the areas that we definitely need to be looking at improving going into next season, because we need that squad depth.
Yeah, 100%. Seb says who will finish higher next season. Well, I think you lot are third right now, right? Mm-hmm. And if you sign in some big players, you lot for me could be in a title race next season. That's the way I see it. Who will finish higher next season? It's hard to say. I don't know what Arsenal are going to
hard to say in it, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It's too early for that.
Yeah, but Osimhen's not leaving Napoli. I disagree. I think he is going to leave Napoli. I do disagree.
It all depends.
Harry Kane needs to leave Tottenham. He has far better chance of winning 100%. Yeah.
He's not going to win anything at Spurs.
Yeah,
if you're
well,
working
won't.
under Daniel Levy, then there's no chance at all. Considering the bloke he is, I can't stand that bloke at all. I think he's a horrible person.
Question for Carl and PD. James Maddison is on your guys' radar. Man United and Tottenham in the race with James Maddison for Leicester. Yeah, what's your thoughts on James Maddison, guys? I think he's well class.
Yeah, I think he's great. That's a player I love. It all depends what happens with Leicester, although he could still leave. Because I think they've slapped a big price tag on him. That's the thing. So I think he would only go a bit cheaper if Leicester were to go down. That's the thing. But Maddison, oh yeah, he's cracking as well. But maybe not on penalty kicks. That's the thing, though. I mean, I've seen his penalty against Everton, and that is one of the poorest I've seen, to be honest. So, but yeah, he's still quality as well. So that's another player definitely would be great as well.
For you, Carl, James Maddison?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Peter. It's definitely a player I would love to see playing for Newcastle. The price tag, however, is a little bit of a dodgy one. I mean, it's not that we don't have the money to pay for these players, because we've literally got unlimited amount of funds to just go out there and buy players. It's the FFP, really. We need to be careful with that, because we don't want to be getting into these situations like we've seen with Man City. We've seen with Chelsea, of course, who are going to be having that problem next season unless they, get rid of a bunch of players in the summer window. Everton as well, having the same problems with this FFP. So that's something that we definitely don't need to be doing here. And I'm sure the owners are well and truly aware of that. They're trying to make sure that we do this in the right way possible. We don't want none dodgy deals going on, and to be honest, it is a player that I would really like to see. And I think if Leicester do get relegated, we could get him for a pretty decent price. And Dan Ashworth, is fantastic at doing that. He knows how to do that, and he did it at Brighton. Look at the players they've got, Matoma, McAllister as well. Another player that I wouldn't mind seeing come and join Newcastle.
Brilliant.
Just brilliant players.
100%. But yeah, guys, before we do go, it's a big prediction time now. Score predictions. I'll go first. I think it'd be a very open game. I reckon there's going to be end-to-end stuff. I'm going to stick to my prediction that I said on your channel, Carl, and it's going to be Newcastle 2, Arsenal 3. I'm backing Arsenal to get the 3 points against you lot. What's your total prediction, PD?
Again, it's going to be a tight game, but I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle. We are at home. The crowd's going to get right behind the side. St James's Park is going to be lightning in terms of the atmosphere. And we will, again, it all comes down to the first goal. But I'm still going to say 2-1 to my side, Newcastle.
Carl, your final prediction?
I'm going to stick with my prediction that I said on Lucas' show on Thursday, and the one I just said on my own channel as well. I'm going to go with the 2-1 as well, like Peter. I just feel like that is a justified score for this game. Arsenal getting a goal in the game, but just not being enough, for them to pick up the points or any points in the game. And, Newcastle coming away with another 3 points in the bag and going on to the next game after. Yeah, so 2-1 for me.
So yeah, guys, that is the opposition preview. I want to thank both of you. Just quickly, shout out your channels, guys. PD, where they can find you.
Yep, so of course, there, PD Prologue is my channel. Feel free to check out and subscribe. And follow me on my social media, my Facebook page, my Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or PD Prologue. Give me a follow on them, and I'll follow you back.
Yes, thank you for coming on, my friend. Really enjoyed it today. Same with you, Carl, as well. Shout out your channel where they can find you quickly as well.
Just at 100 PCT Mags on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. But it's a percentage mark for YouTube, of course. And also over on TikTok, you can see us over there as well. I do short videos over on TikTok of just like comedy, funny, like Newcastle videos over there. Nothing serious, but that is where you can all follow us over there. So that'd be great if you head over there, and I'll speak with you over there when I see you.
Yes, lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you both of you once again for taking your time to come on the channel today. Please drop me a sub, guys. Both channels are in the title. Click the little blue icon and then you can subscribe to them. But yeah, look, may the best team win, lads, and hopefully we can do this again next season, eh? And yeah, good luck for the rest of the season. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. We're out of here. Come on the Reds, and we'll see you guys for another video very soon. Bye for now.